the surface here.
Okay.
Okay. And
Okay. Now we're here. Okay. Good. Well, there's. You can turn that down.
Okay.
This is another little entertainment here today.
Yeah.
Okay. Little entertainment on so I've got a bunch of stuff to talk about, but I don't know if we're going to get through all of it. But
okay.
There's the stack O stuff.
Right. Well, before we get going, let's just tell our listeners here, this is the Jimmy Doane Show.
Right.
You can call us in right here, and this phone over here will ring, and you can be in the show in audio, or if you're really brave, you can Skype into my name right here, and then you can be...
Can you text in?
Right there between us. You can... you can text us, but right now we're not set up to see your texts live.
Okay.
So we can respond to them later, but you can...
You can always leave comments
down there.
Yeah, sure, okay.
And we'll be happy to respond.
Okay.
In fact, we got a really nice comment from Switzerland.
Was it Switzerland?
Yes, of all places. One of our old-time listeners has found us again.
A lot of people don't realize we were doing the audio podcast, of which we did, 100 or 200?
200 plus.
Plus years ago, 10, 15 years ago.
Before anybody had iPods.
Right, exactly. That was before that.
We had no audience except for loyal people who
we had some audiences. I mean, it wasn't too bad. But anyway, they're all on the Jimmy Doane website at jimmydone.com. The history, and if you want some entertainment, I think they typically run about an hour or so. And
sometimes hour
and some of the ones that we did on the radio are 45 minutes or something like that. But the point is,
if you can't watch, you can listen.
You can listen. But one of the things that is, I've gone back and listened to a couple of them, and we were there were 3 or 4 of us usually on at that time. But some of the stuff we said 10 years ago, it's like the same,
brand new.
I mean, you said that's today. So anyway, if you get a chance, go to the jimmydone.com website, and you can pick up on that stuff with all the new stuff. So the other thing is, we got from Switzerland. They want to know where the donate page or the donate thing was, and it turns out it goes to Engineer Eric's.
So he's loving that.
He's loving it, right? It's okay because we're all in the same.
He'll tell
thing.
us.
Yeah, but
Probably.
But we will thank you for it. But we did, as I say, one of our longtime listeners finally found. I don't know how, but it's kind of interesting. He might tell us
Which
sometime.
is nice.
So anyway, the first thing I've got on the list is about the EpiPen.
The EpiPen, right.
This was, a replay of the guy who bought some patented thing, a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
Raised the price 1,000% or something, and
right.
of course was pilloried.
Yeah.
Across the whole thing. But this is today.
Now he raised the price like 50,000% or something.
Yeah. It was like from $2 to 1,000 or
right.
something.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, this one's not much different. The EpiPens are, of course, in case you don't know, they're what you carry around with you in case you have an allergy, eat a peanut or whatever your allergy is. They jam you with this thing.
Or you jab yourself.
You jab yourself, right?
I would just die right
or you just die, right?
I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I mean, when you see somebody all swole up, or something like that, you know they didn't. And so that's the stuff that makes you stay alive, basically. It's pretty essential if you're undergoing some kind of a thing like that.
Right.
A 2-dose package cost around $94 9 years ago.
Okay.
They come in 2-dose packages. Now the average cost has gone up to $608 per 2-pack.
Okay, so it's gone up 600%.
Yeah.
In 8 years, you said?
Yeah. In let's see, 9 years ago.
Okay.
So, but I think just recently it's gone up a bunch. Now, of course, the CEO lady, of course, is coming under
heavy fire.
Heavy fire, right? Yeah, can't you do this? Because what happens is, of course, the kids always take a couple to school with them.
It's about the kids.
It's about the children. That's exactly right. It's about the children. And, the parents, of course, immediately complain to Congress to do something.
Right.
And, but, of course, most of the kids have insurance. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's still expensive.
Yeah. I mean, it's ridiculously expensive. I think, though, we could point to a couple of factors. For example, I guarantee you she's got a patent on something.
Right.
And that means the government is enforcing her ability to collect $600 for a 2-pack.
Exactly.
So all you'd have to do is get out of the way, drop the patent, and let whoever, if $600, if it doesn't cost $600 to make one of those things.
They said like $2 worth of stuff in here.
Okay, right. Okay, yeah. So the going price should be like $225. Or
No. You got the pen and you got the shipping and everything.
Well, I'm saying
a little profit, $10 even. So what?
Whatever the price is, if it gets industrialized and professionalized, it's going to be cost plus about 10%. Ultimately. Well, let's give them 100%. Whatever. $2, $5, $10.
Right, whatever.
It's not $100 or $600, and all because the patent.
Well, and of course, this time of year when the people are going out buying their clothes for their kids to start school, they're also re-upping on the EpiPens.
Sure.
Because they needed to take them to school.
Right.
So anyway, of course, Senator Charles Grassley wrote Mylan, the company that manufactures the device, and asked for more information on why the prices have increased. He cited the cost to parents whose children need them, and also to schools that keep EpiPens on hand. He also noted that the cost can be passed on to taxpayers when children are covered by Medicaid or other government programs. I don't, of course, then of course Mark Warner from Virginia said the issue was personal for him because he had a son.
I always like it when somebody makes it personal.
Yeah, that's right. Personal for him. He's a senator. As a parent of a child with severe allergies, I'm all too familiar with the life or death importance of these devices.
Well, then he better pay up.
Pay up, that's right. So they've asked the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee to hold a hearing on the issue. She is a co-chair of the Congressional Kids Safety Caucus.
No, there's an important group.
Boy,
how did we survive before?
I don't know. I don't know. It's life or death, and Congressional Kids Safety Caucus.
No, but not the patent office.
No,
not the U.S. Patent Office.
No. Yeah, well,
not the agency granting her the sole and singular license to distribute this drug and enforcing the laws against anybody else distributing this for any amount of money.
Right. Yeah. So
wouldn't want to call them.
No. Mylan said the company said it has savings programs for patients, also offering free EpiPens to schools. You want to see about that, and about half the schools are participating in the program. So the company chair or whatever it is said this current and outgoing shift has presented new challenges for consumers and are now bearing more of the cost. Well, of course, so much of this stuff is. People just, with Obamacare and everything, I guess people just expect not to pay for anything.
Yeah, no, it's gotten to that point, I think, where people feel like whatever you can't pay for, the government's supposed to pay for.
Pick it up.
Right. They're the buyer of last resort.
Right.
They announced that. They laud that concept.
Well, anyway, I think that, so the bottom line is the government shouldn't be involved.
Right.
And the market, even though they have a patent or whether they have an exclusive thing, the market will work its way out, I'm convinced. There are apparently some other types of stuff that will ameliorate your allergy reaction.
Right. Well, as we know from the free market and analysis thereof, the market always finds a way. It's like a live organism. In fact, it's a whole bunch of live organisms.
Right.
A whole bunch of live humans.
Yeah. How about several billion?
That's right. And they think about stuff. If you let them, they will solve problems.
Right.
And you're right. They'll go around the patent. They'll find a way, even with that dam in the river.
Right.
Of relief.
Yeah. No, that's right. They'll find a way around. But of course, then the FDA steps in, the Food and Drug Administration, and wants to have trials, and there's 5 years, shot to hell. The government, again, the roadblock. Once you get past one, you got to get past another one.
Well, we've got a lot these days.
Yeah.
We've got a lot.
Yeah, we do. So anyway, that's my take on the EpiPen. I think I would just leave them alone and let the market figure it out.
Right. Well, I think I agree with you. If there's anything close to an open market, what you want is let them gouge their brains out, because if they raise the prices too high, that provides opportunities for jobs for other people to come in and fill the need at a lower price.
Well, yeah,
and still make a profit.
There will be solutions to that price, some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And it'll be commoditized. It's just maybe not this school year, and that'd be a problem for those particular parents.
Hey, there's always problems. I mean, what do you?
You just tell your kids stay away from these things.
Yeah, watch out for bees and peanuts, and
yeah.
They'll find a way to get the pens.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's that important, if it's that cool, and it is.
It is, right. It's life or death.
Yeah, so you get them.
Yeah. Okay, that's that.
All right.
Actually, that's not that.
Oh, we have to go back to that?
Yeah, go back to that one. See if you
Okay. Hold on.
That's all right. I can dovetail on a new set. This is kind of new anyway.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so what they've decided to do is to go after the CEO lady.
Right, yeah.
They have decided to, I got 3 pages of stuff here.
She's being pilloried.
I mean, across the board. So her name is Heather Bresch. Anyway, it turns out that she's she's the daughter of a U.S. senator from West Virginia, and so what she's done is to reincorporate in the Netherlands.
Okay.
So that tax saving, no extradition, whatever the heck it is.
So she doesn't have to charge $800.
Right. So yeah, exactly. So the increase, as I said, increased from $100 in 2008 to $600 for some customers today. She's her revenue, how much she earns has gone up to millions when it was 1 million or something. It's like 9 million now or something. And the revenue, of course, has risen quite substantially because of this kind of stuff. They do other things, but the EpiPens are something like 30 or 35% of their. I mean, without that, they'd have a problem.
This actually speaks directly to some of the concerns people have about wealth disparity and company power. If you think about it, if we didn't have the company structure, the enforceable company structure that we have, complete with the patents and the protections for the people and such, people would have to rely on one another and company loyalty a lot more, because otherwise you could have splinters off all the time. And if you didn't treat your employees well, they could go out and start a business just like the one you were running,
right,
if you weren't already protected in some way. I mean, obviously, you could still have no compete contracts and stuff, but in general, companies would be a lot more vulnerable to takeover by workers that are industrious, as opposed to somebody having to go get the cops involved.
Right. Well, there have been some attempts at buyouts. One of the reasons they went to the Netherlands was apparently there's some Israeli company that wants to take them over, and this has some way of preventing it. I'm not sure what. A hostile takeover.
Yeah.
So anyway, so she's done a whole lot of stuff, and while insurance covers some of the costs, most people have to pay out of pocket. Let's see. Oh, so anyway, of course, Clinton weighs in on this. This is outrageous. And no justification, and the children will suffer, and it's all her fault. So they've taken it out on her. They've done what they call competitive research on her.
Easy peasy. And find somebody to blame.
And well, not only that, they have found all of her little flaws and nicks and everything, and said she's a bad person too.
She spent how much on shoes?
Yeah, well, right, exactly. So you with lives on the line, we urge the manufacturer to rein in these exorbitant costs. Talk. So anyway, and of course the company supports the senator from West Virginia.
Right.
Doane
or whatever.
Yeah, and they spend almost $1 million a year in lobbying Congress.
Right.
So in order to get their $9.7 billion profit every year. So let's see, she went up to $19 million a year from $2.5 million. So anyway, as I say, this Tiva
raping them.
Yeah, raping them. That's right. So she's made it. And of course, there was a thing about there was a little scandalette about she had claimed that she had an MBA from some institution. Turned out she didn't. This is one of those nothing to see here kind of thing.
Well, it's all private. I mean, it's
well, the thing is that they went to her father made a big donation to whatever university it was there in West Virginia, and suddenly they retroactively gave her what she needed.
Oh, well, hey.
Yeah, I mean, it was so obvious on his face, and they asked him about, well, this no big deal, don't worry about it. I mean,
I just realized what a great job she'd done all this time.
And even though she didn't do all the hours necessary, but still, she was, she got all the necessary information to get the degree. She just didn't actually go to the classes. So,
sure.
So anyway, they load up on her personally. If you're pulling down $10 million a year, that's go fuck yourself.
Yeah,
money.
load up.
Yeah, that's right.
See you. I'll read those emails when I get back from my vacation.
That's right. In the Netherlands or on a South Sea island.
Exactly.
In a couple of years. All right, that's that. I just wanted. I'm sorry. That was part of the.
No problem. No problem.
We got that. Don't know.
It just keeps losing my. I'm just trying to leave this window up here, and for some reason.
Well, see, Windows 10. I mean, give me a break.
Yeah.
It seems to me we could fire up my Mac on this thing. We don't have the right program, but
yeah.
Windows 10. Got it?
Yeah.
We back?
Oh, yeah.
We are. No.
We're back.
Wait. No.
We're back. We're not back.
There we go.
We're back.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Professional,
That's right. Professional guy. Don't tell engineer.
I should take a picture of this place and people will say, "You're doing what with what?" So this is a legal question I wanted to ask you about. I thought it was kind of interesting in a way.
Okay.
A man got 40 years
Right.
for pouring boiling water on a gay couple in his house or whatever.
In his house or their house?
Well, it was his sister's house or something. Where
Okay.
he was a long haul truck driver where apparently he had like a room
Right.
that he could use, and then the brother of the wife or the sister,
Right.
as the brother of the sister, he was gay and had a gay friend over, one time,
Right.
and they were doing gay things, and it pissed this guy off.
Right.
So he boiled a pot of water and poured it on him,
Yeah. Well, I mean.
and hurt him bad.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was really bad. They had months and 2 weeks in a chemically induced coma.
Ooh, wow.
Oh yeah, no, and then a bunch of operations and skin surgery,
Yeah.
I mean.
That's hideous. That's one of the most heinous crimes that you can commit. It's basically attempted murder, because you can kill somebody that way if enough of their skin comes off.
Well, they were only charged with something, aggravated assault or something, and
Yeah, aggravated assault with deadly weapon. That's probably what he's convicted of.
they called guilty of aggravated assault for dumping the hot water on them. Yeah.
Right. It's different in different states, but the bottom line is, if one or more of them could have died or been permanently, they're certainly permanently disfigured already.
Yeah, right. No, they are.
And so that guy gets the max, whatever the max
They
is.
said the max could have been 80.
Right. Well, and I'm with you from the standpoint of, from my perspective, even a guy like that, reprehensible individual. From my perspective, the max shouldn't be more than about 20 years.
Yeah, no, that was. I mean, I thought it was a little strong.
Yeah.
I mean, as bad, like you say, as bad as it was.
Yeah, it's hideous.
They
it's
didn't.
the
They
worst.
didn't. Oh yeah. Well,
20 years is a really long time. I mean, a year is a long time, and a decade is 10 times that long.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's 2 decades.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is that what it is. It's
he got
enough.
40 years.
Right. I know. And so
Yours would have been 2. He got 4 decades.
Yeah. Woo, man. I mean, and here's the thing. The reason why I consider that to be a very long time is because the human doesn't remember stuff very well. A human animal forgets stuff after about 5 years. You can entirely repattern your behavior in about 5 years, because you just physically can't remember. Most people, you probably can. I mean, don't think about you. Think about anybody normal off the street. Okay, in 5 years' time, they have completely forgotten.
But what if you look in the mirror or something? If I mean, I don't know where they got scalded, but they lost bodily parts function or something. It said in there.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the guy going to prison.
Right. Okay.
I mean,
right. Okay, I see what you're saying.
I'm saying 5 years is enough time. Not for this crime. I mean, from my perspective, this guy would get the max, which to my mind is about 20. Because in 20 years, you can literally change everything about your life.
Well, you're certainly going to change a lot if you're 20 years in stir.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean, this is not like 20 years on a beach somewhere.
No. This is 20 years of re-education and conditioning and whatever. Well, whatever it is, and you're doing something in there. And from my perspective, if they just poured, if they just had tons of educational access in the prisons and stuff, and even to the point of stuff just like movies, just like let them watch movies. Because
they're great courses.
Yeah, exactly. That's just playing on the wall there all the time. Languages and like I said, just regular movies to offer these people models of acceptable behavior. And most of them really don't have that. The ones that go for the very long time is what I'm talking about.
Right.
I mean, obviously, this guy had no concept of.
Well, he had made it, according to the article, he had made it crystal clear that fags
gays. I mean, you cannot infer. Nothing happened to him. But it will.
Yeah. It will.
But I mean, he's going to find out what it's like.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to do 20 years of that.
Man, yeah, and that's he's in for it, and man, and
of course, as the judge said, this was premeditated, absolutely, because he got the largest pot in the kitchen, he boiled it, which took up a fair amount.
Yeah, 30 minutes, and then he went and did it.
So
no, I mean, like I said, the worst type possible. I mean, you can't do a crime worse than that.
Well, it's interesting.
You can't. All you can do is kill more people. I mean.
Right, but he certainly. I would guess that he. This was a proximity thing for him or something, and I would guess that that's probably the last time he would do it, anything like that.
Well, and that comes down to the judge,
right?
Okay,
the judge was. She really went nuts and said this was so heinous she couldn't believe it.
Right, but the judge is supposed to factor, from my perspective, in what you just said, which is what are the odds this guy's going to do something again. And that comes into to play. I mean, again, he still gets 20 years out of my court, which is nothing to scoff at.
No.
But especially considering our prisons and everything. But at the same time, 40. I mean, that's
that's a lot.
Yeah.
And and what I've seen, what I've noticed also is. If you scald a cat that way, you go away for a while.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, that's...
Well, we got a story about that. You want to get over to that one about the German Shepherd?
Which one is that?
We got a police dog story.
Oh, okay, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, hold on a second.
Oh, you got me a background for that one, huh?
Well, no, let's see.
Anytime.
Okay, we're back.
Now this is something that this is in our local paper.
The
K9 thing, right?
Yes, it was.
Okay, and that's okay. So I didn't read the whole article. Why don't you bring me up to speed on it?
Okay, so what happened was a very unfortunate situation. One of our local officers, sheriffs, left their dog in their car, and the dog died. And his dad found the dog. And the circumstances were, family was getting ready to go oyster hunting out in the Gulf, which is something we do here in Florida.
Right.
It's really fun. You take your family.
Scallops.
That's what they were doing, scallops. So you take your family, you go out to the shallows, you kick around and stuff, and you try not to get eaten by the scallops. And oh man, and once in a while you lose a family member.
Yeah.
But no, it's fun, lots of fun. So anyway, he was getting ready to do that, and he got a call to go do something, to bring the canine somewhere for, a call. So he did. He, dropped family, hold on, got to go take the dog. Went and took the dog there, brought the dog back. Family was all there. Everybody was ready. They all got together and left the dog in one of the cars.
Okay.
Now, it looks pretty obvious to me. I mean, what happened was the guy's dad showed up later, 5 hours later. Okay, this is Florida sun from noon to 5.
Right.
So the dog is cooked. I'm sorry.
140 degrees.
Yeah, you're hating it. And so dad shows up, sees, first he doesn't find the dog. He doesn't see the dog. And so he texts the officer, hey, where's Cody or whatever the dog's name is? Officer texts back, if he's not in the yard, he must have gone out into the woods through the hole in the fence or something. He'll come back later or whatever. Dad finds the dog in the car. Dog's dead already.
Oh, man.
So yeah, horrible situation. And then the question was, what they did is they opened an investigation into whether or not the officer was negligently killed the dog or criminally killed the dog.
Right.
Okay. Now this is the telling part. They came out and they said no charges. Okay. And I'm for that, just by the way, but I'll tell you why, and it's interesting.
I want to hear this.
Yeah. Okay. So what happened was, then they pressed the state attorney and they said, why no charges? And he said, well, I didn't see any criminal intent.
Hillary.
Exactly. And then they came back and they said, well, what do you mean, negligence? This is a negligent crime. You can negligently leave your dog in the car. And the guy said, this is the state attorney here said, well, if he had gone and done something bad, if he had gone to a bar or something, then yeah, okay, I could see that. But I'm thinking it's the same thing.
Yeah, he went with
That's what he did. He left the dog because he was going to have fun.
Right.
And he did have fun, and the dog died because he didn't realize that he left the dog in the car.
Right.
Okay, so state attorney, that sucks that the state attorney either doesn't know the difference between negligence and intent,
right,
or doesn't care. I mean, but I'll back him up on this sense. I don't think you should have criminal negligence statutes. I don't think we should have statutes that send people to jail or prison for negligence. I think you should have to have some criminal intent. That being said, we do have those statutes. And if you or I had left a dog in the car, our ass would be in jail right now. No question about it. Okay?
Yeah.
So this allows them to have a double standard.
Sure.
And that sucks.
We've always known that.
Yeah, well,
no,
now
there's always they're different from us. They're a different cast.
It's getting worse.
Yeah, yeah.
And so here we have the situation. Now, again, I don't want the guy to be prosecuted because, from my perspective, I'll bet you he loved that dog. And I bet you their family is devastated.
I'm sure.
And you don't need to punish him anymore.
I agree with you on that.
But let's expand that to include the rest of us, please.
Yeah.
So that we don't get taken down when our dog accidentally dies in the car. It creates this crazy situation. I mean, we can go and euthanize our dogs. I can drive my dog to the vet and they can kill him right there. But if I stop off at the Publix on the way to get him a last meal and I leave him in the car too long, my ass is going to jail if he dies before I take him to the vet, where they could kill him humanely. And
I'd take him anyway.
He's not
like
dead yet.
He's like
Monty
the parrot.
Python.
Yeah, the parrot.
This is a late dog.
Late parrot. Mm-hmm. He is no more.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking that one of the things that is kind of interesting will be see what kind of funeral they give the dog, because it was an officer.
Yeah.
I mean, what if you'd left
motorcade and
what if your partner had been in the car, and he was his partner?
Yeah.
I mean, they get the officers. If you touch the dog, that's battery of an officer, and you're going to jail for that. And so, negligently he killed. I mean, I'm with you. I agree with you on that. I wouldn't have before, but it seemed, and I agree with you on this. And this happens a lot when somebody goes to jail. And when they're already devastated. I mean, they're already ruined. That's punishment enough.
We send people to jail for DUIs when the person that died in the accident was a member of their own family.
Right.
And you've got to figure, if they could take that day back,
Oh,
I mean, they would give anything to take that day back.
Let me tell you, this is one of those things that is not covered in the last segment we did. This is 5 years later, you still remember it.
Oh, absolutely.
This is trauma. This is trauma.
Right.
And this is life-changing trauma.
Right, exactly.
And so I'm with you on that, but unfortunately, the rest of us are not part of the privileged class. So
right. Well, and the judge is not allowed to judge that, or somehow they don't, because that would be what I would judge as a judge. It would be like, I know there's no possible way you want to repeat the situation. You're probably never going to drive again.
I mean, there's going to be way too much. What was the other thing that came along on the dog? It was a big funeral, and I lost my train of thought.
Okay,
I do that a lot.
Well, yeah, it's amazing to me, but I guess the driving thing will go away before too long with the automatic cars anyway. So.
Yeah, and of course now they are also, some cars are being equipped with a alert that there's somebody in the back seat.
Okay.
They have, so you get out of the car and it goes beep.
Oh, right. So you can't leave your kid.
You can't leave your kid, right? Mostly for the kid, but I mean, it certainly work for the dog too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you could get them a collar that calls your cell phone when it gets too hot or something.
How about when it calls your cell phone? Well, yeah, it calls it might call your. Yeah, right. Okay, when it gets too hot, I mean they got sensors for everything.
There's a product. Get your Jimmy Doane dog collar.
That's right. Yeah. What the hell's my dog doing calling me?
That's right.
Okay.
All right, that's all I got on that one.
Good. And we're back. Well, I've got a couple of new ones here.
All right, what do you got?
Okay, I've got, I think I'll skip on that one. Japan, China, and South Korea unite in condemning, this is more the blah, blah, blah talk, and these are people that are historically enemies. Mm-hmm. I mean, South Korea, and Japan, they're getting ready.
And China? No, they're condemning China.
They're condemning North Korea.
Okay.
For the missile test.
Okay.
Which we talked about yesterday. And so they're getting together, and they have a picture of them here, all shaking hands. But I mean, these are traditional enemies.
Well, they don't even. The guy on the left doesn't even look happy. I mean, he looks pissed off in that photo. I mean.
Well, yeah, but I mean, they're just.
That's the way they always are. When we make them shake hands like we do in the West. And they just hate it. I mean, you can just see it on their face, like, oh my God, I got to do a freaking photo op for these pinheads.
Yeah.
I mean, and they come out and do it. It's
yeah. So anyway, this I thought it was interesting because we talked about this before, because it's just talk. I mean, they do all this stuff. Here they get together for the photo op.
That's posturing. I mean, that's all part of it.
Especially these guys.
Well, you have to do that. It's they're giving him the Donald Trump treatment. The kid on the playground who makes the biggest ruckus is respected. I mean, just because he's out there.
Well, he's feared.
Okay.
Yeah. And
so in today's world, that's still what drives a lot of relationships. And so those guys get together. I would imagine Kim Jong-un is sitting there going, "Shit."
No, he's not.
No.
He's got him by the cojones. I'm telling you, because. He is getting, his missile tests are getting better every time. I mean, he's the guy that has, the nuclear capability missile thing
and
from a sub.
Desire to use it. Right?
Yeah, and no problem with it. I mean,
right.
Look what he does with his own country, or his own people. So anyway, what they said is stuff like this: the provocation that simply cannot be tolerated. Yeah, okay. They prompting North Korea to use restraint. I hope to coordinate closely in order for Japan, China, and South Korea to lead the efforts in the international community. And one thing I've always said about the word hope is it's like wishing. I mean, it's not a plan. Hope is not a plan. I mean, you can hope all you want, but if it doesn't come true, it's worthless. I've tried to use the word expect. I expect that there will be, and then you have a time limit.
Right.
And you can either judge your success or failure by the timetable. Hope,
Hope is just an impetus. It's a potential. It's just the background thing. It's what you start with before you expect. First you hope, and then you do something about it. Then you make a plan. Then you expect your plan to work.
They're not even at that point.
Yeah, no, they're back at hope, which is like you said. They're not at the plan yet. They're not doing anything about it. Right?
Yeah, well, they said, the repeated missile tests have demonstrated a rapid advancement in capabilities.
Yeah, well...
But, of course, tensions between Tokyo and China and Beijing remain high over disputed sea islands and undersea gas development. China and South Korea became frayed after Seoul approved deployment of a U.S. missile defense system against North threat. And, of course, the historic, I'm reading through this here real quick. I had curated most of it, but it's all about how they're going to talk. It's just blah, 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 blah. I mean, I guess they get to go to a first-class hotel with their entourage. And so.
Not only that, but what I would be doing if I were them is I would have these talks, but then I would have Stuxnet out there as well. I mean, you'd have secret, James Bond. You'd be sending James Bond over to North Korea to poke around.
That's back channels.
Sabotage what's going on.
Oh, okay. I see what okay.
Take him out a little bit down and be posturing over here. Don't you do that. And meanwhile, we got somebody in there mucking up the works. That's what I would be doing. I'm just saying. And we wouldn't know about
You're just saying?
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Well, it's a pretty tight, closed country. And, I mean, they're living in fear. I would imagine if, unless you got a certified North Korean defector person to go do it.
That's what you would do.
You'd pay him, offer him a bounty. That's what they did, of course, with the Russians. I forget when it was, in the 50s or 60s. They offered a $1 million bounty for a MiG jet.
Yeah,
and the guy,
somebody flew one.
He flew one. They flew into Tokyo or whatever. And said, "I'm
here. You go. Bye bye."
They have a book out on the guy, and it's just an amazing story. But I mean,
that's the way you do it.
That's the way you do it. Exactly right. Well, I thought it was interesting. Additionally, on the story, they were talking about the reparations that Japan has agreed to pay to South Korea during the Second World War, 60 some years ago, they finally agreed to reparations for using the South Korean women as rapers.
Right.
They were called comfort women or whatever, but they were basically sex slaves.
Sure.
So anyway,
the Japanese had a ruthless army.
Oh,
they didn't abide by a lot of Geneva Convention rules.
Nanking, the rape of Nanking. Have you ever seen? Oh my God! No, it's that they did.
Love you guys.
Yeah, love you guys. Right? Yeah. Now. So anyway, it's in a bid to resolve their dispute over Japan's wartime actions. They approved the survivors are entitled to 10 million yen each.
Oh, I was going to say
10 million. That's about 100,000.
Okay.
$100,000 each for medical and nursing care, and $20,000 to cover the cost of funeral costs for those who have expired.
Mm-hmm.
So they, the war. Maybe the war will stop. Although we still got 25,000 troops over there sitting on the.
Yeah, I think we've pointed out that the South China Sea is potentially. It's
a flashpoint.
Oh yeah.
It's we talk about this as far as the economies are concerned. So many economies are on a razor's edge. I mean, ours, people don't realize it, but ours is.
Mm-hmm.
And I've talked about this before. That you get a black swan event or something that just sets things off, and like as I said before, like the Archduke being assassinated, and suddenly it just blows up.
Yeah.
So that is a flashpoint.
Well, right. And China, from my perspective, is being a more centrally controlled economy than most of its size, for sure, has more of a potential to take a nosedive, take a header into the bushes, basically, because somebody could make some dumb mistake and then force it down everybody's throats.
Okay, I'm confused. What do you mean a header?
I mean a nosedive. I mean, like a big.
Oh, you mean their economy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then what would happen is all of a sudden you've got a few hundred million people, who have no way of supporting themselves. And guess what those people are good for? An army. and you basically say, hey, if you want food and stuff, like they've got food over there, and take this gun and go get it. And it's the kind of thing I could see happening. I'm not sure exactly where.
I think that this country is going to probably collapse before those guys do. And of course, one of the things is they do have quite a bit, especially down in the southeast corner of that whole district there is all free enterprise.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they got, when you see the amount of the deficit that they all complain about, our trade deficit,
right?
It's just billions and billions of dollars.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is one of my predictions, so it's almost guaranteed to be wrong.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, watch out for China before it's all over.
Yeah, that's what Jim Rogers, who's now living in Singapore, he says his kids are all learning Mandarin. He says that China's going to be the 21st century is going to be the century of China, one way or the other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm done with that.
Moving on. What happened? Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
We're back?
Yeah.
Okay. I got a thing here, but I don't think I'm going to do this one. This Hillary has defended her foundation, says it's been transparent. Really?
Yeah.
And I like to say is, huh? I mean, this is the nothing to see here kind of thing, when there's everything that you want to know about. I mean, for God's sakes, the Justice Department, Justice Department is looking into their finances and everything to find out if there's been any fraud. I mean, pay for play or whatever it is, that kind of stuff.
Well, we're going to find out eventually.
Eventually we will, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, just to say something like that, and it's actually,
she's got to say that kind of stuff.
Associated Press.
I saw a little GIF today with highlighting the HIV treatment that the Clinton Foundation provides worldwide. Apparently, they provide half of charitable HIV donations to adults and 3/4 for kids.
Okay.
So, millions of dollars to charity. There you go.
Okay. All right. Well, good for them.
Mm-hmm.
That's the part. They're certainly going to brag about all the good stuff they're going to do, but where they're getting the money from. Anyway, so I'm not going to do that one.
Okay.
What I did do, this is for the final one here, is scientists find an Earth-like planet circling the sun's nearest neighbor. It's a mere 4.5 light years away. And but of course, they call it Proxima B,
right?
Because it's in close proximity.
Right. Well, what it is Alpha Centauri has two little companion stars, okay. Proxima A and Proxima B.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, I didn't know that.
And so this one, I think, circles Proxima B, I believe.
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
So what we're saying is that these stars, two stars are circling this big star.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyways, they determined somehow that because one of those stars is a red dwarf.
Okay.
And that's the one where they found the Earth-like, quote, Earth-like planet.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, that's circling. It circles the planet every 11 days.
Yeah. How long ago did it go nova if it's a red dwarf? Or maybe it's a...
I don't know.
You couldn't have.
I don't know, but it says they discovered a planet that appears to be similar to Earth, circling the star closest to the sun, that Alpha Centauri, and potentially trying to find if there's life elsewhere. Of course, what's interesting, there's several things that are interesting. It's about 4.2 light years, and of course this dovetails with the Russian billionaire who has put together this little chip that he plans to send it to some place like this.
Yeah, he wants to send it to Alpha Centauri.
Yeah, and to find out, now of course it's going to take,
30 years, I think they said.
30 years, it's at least 20.
Yeah.
And for it to get there, and the way they're going to do it is they're going to use a sail.
Right.
And start it off with the lasers from Earth.
Right.
As propulsion.
Mm-hmm.
And they showed the laser, the largest depiction. I think he said it's ready to go in 20 years or something.
Okay.
And
maybe so, because they said 60 for it to get information to get back here.
Yeah.
So if it's ready in 20 and has 20 going out and 20 coming back.
Yeah.
Well, no, I guess it would just beam the information back.
Yeah, well, it's certainly not going to turn around and come back.
Yeah, no.
Because there's no lasers
in there.
Well, it might get a start from Alpha Centauri.
Yeah, they could do a slingshot thing or something. I don't know, man.
I don't know what they're going to do. Yeah. So anyway, but I mean, these are like nano robots or things.
Yeah.
They're small, and what he wants to do is send just millions of them out, in this outer space. Mm-hmm. Well, it reminds me a little bit of in the original Star Wars, when they were, or no, it's the second one, I guess, where they were looking for the snow place where the rebel people were, and you saw coming out of the big ship, pew, 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 all the little droids that were gonna find stuff. That's what he's gonna do, here pretty soon. Anyway, but the point is that they already have found some problems. First of all, it's circling a white dwarf. And in size is about a little bit larger than Earth, but it's got to be like right next to the damn sun in order to have the heat and everything. So it's going to be blasted. I mean, it's got to be closer than Mercury because the white dwarf is like the size of Mercury.
Yeah, well, I mean, what they do is they just calculate what they call the Goldilocks zone.
Right, no, they've done that on this, and they said that this appears to be there, except being that close to a star that has like radiation, even though it's a small point, it's a lot of radiation.
Right.
It doesn't get time to dissipate or anything. And of course, it's got to have an atmosphere, which, if it's that close, may have been blown off. Who knows? Yeah. I think they discovered that it did have an atmosphere. They're working on it. Point is, they think that it's in the Goldilocks zone, and they're, I'm saying, let's suit them up, boys. Let's, saddle up, boys. Let's go take a look. So they determined the host star in 11 days. I mean, I think Mercury. Doesn't Mercury go around the sun in
like 23 days or something?
Yes, like nothing, burger. Yeah, it moves pretty fast.
Yeah.
Anyway, the nearest Earth-like planet to the sun, circling a star known as Wolf 1061. This is the one before, and it's about 14 light years away instead of 7. Instead of whatever this one is, 4.5.
2.5. Yeah.
So anyway, the discovery was announced on Wednesday and is expected to bolster the $100 million project unveiled in April, backed by Russian billionaire Yuri Milna, to develop a miniature laser-powered spacecraft.
Kickstarter!
Yeah, Kickstarter, right. That's it. So I thought, there's, as he says, when the sun goes nova in 4.5 billion years, we'll have some place to go. We might have had the technology to go there. And of course, the idea that humans are still going to be here is a joke.
Well, but whatever we evolve into will be.
As far as I can see, we're going to devolve into slime or something at the rate things are going. I hate to tell you. I mean, if the rate things are going, we're probably going to be metal men. Singularity.
Well, yeah, certainly we'll be combination creatures before the end of the century. Cyborg type things.
Right, assuming we make it that long.
Yeah, well,
I mean, we're now
computers don't kill us all off.
Well, not that. It's just
that's the weak part of the...
Yeah, the weak link is these guys, the number of people that got their hands on a button to send the missiles out.
Yeah, but I don't think that's going to do us. And I mean, you'd have to really blanket the area with some serious...
I mean, you could have a nuclear winter pretty quick. I mean, once they let them go,
one of the big guys would have to launch them all or something. You could.
Well, you say that, but I mean, if there's a conflict of some kind,
then that could happen.
Either both sides are going to launch, that kind of thing.
Or we get the asteroid. It's not a couple of thousand years.
Oh yeah, no, they said we're overdue for an asteroid.
Yeah,
what they said.
Nice big one.
But you realize, as humans, we've only been here for like 100,000 years. I mean, it's an eye blink.
Yeah,
I mean, and actually, as Homo sapiens, for God's sakes, the Neanderthals died out 10,000 years ago. They were here. I mean, and that's when the Homo sapiens.
I'm voting. I think we should make one of those tube things. The rotating tube ships. So it rotates, so it has artificial gravity.
Right.
And then you just plant stuff around the outside, and it's like a hollow Earth, and that's the ship.
Right. Well, yeah, exactly. That's the ship. Of course, if you're doing that, and of course, if you ever have to go to the hub, you're going to have to, you're going to get lighter and lighter and lighter until you float.
Yeah.
So the spokes, the tube spokes that connect.
Well, that would be one of the sports, is the sort of bungee jumping across the diameter there.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be great. All right, well, I'm done. I think we're finished. We've had a lot of fun. Remember the Jimmy Doane Show. You can call in. We're going to try and be here tomorrow, 4:00, and will be posted here also for your perusal in less than an hour.
Yep. Oops.
But for those of you who watch, we appreciate it. Leave us a stellar, share the video, and leave us a reward of some kind. What do you call it? A like.
A like.
Yeah.
A reward.
Well, you can on the Jimmy Doane website. Of course, you can actually donate money.
Yeah.
From PayPal or anything.
Yeah.
Currently, of course, it goes over to Engineer Eric. We have to shake him up, but we're going to see if we
shake him down.
Shake him down, right? Exactly. So thanks again.
Yep. Thanks for tuning in.